Center, and we are back here in our good friend's garden looking another video for you and your little ones to watch on how to get outdoors and how to have fun enjoying our natural world. So for this week, we're going to build a little bit on our theme of fall changes that we looked at last week. We're going to talk about the weather because the weather is huge and it changes so much at this time of year. So it's a great time for you and your little ones to start learning as much as you can about the weather. So one thing you can always do just to kind of pique your child's interest before you start learning about something new, is you can always read a book. So I found this huge book, which is perfect for our camera, and it says, "Who Cares About the Weather?" And as always, I am not going to read these books to you. We have a lovely story time every Thursday with Altianka. She'll read you a wonderful story. But you can always just ask your child about the weather. What do they know about the weather? What does this book tell them about the weather? And you can sort of help them connect both what they're reading as well as to their everyday lives and really starting to get those ideas flowing and really get them thinking reflectively before you begin our activity for the day. So let's get started. My favorite things to do when it comes to learning about the weather is to really bring out that inner scientist that every child has, that innate curiosity, by letting them learn about the weather by tracking it and observing it for themselves. So here I have a little weather tracking worksheet, and again I'll always post a link below so you and your little ones can try it out for yourselves. And it just asks you a couple things about the weather. So it'll have you write the day, the time that you look outside because the weather does change throughout the day. You can circle all of it, so it doesn't matter if your child's not quite yet to writing all of these different words. It's a great way for them to learn different weather vocabulary, and they can just circle them with some help. So cloudy, sunshine, cold, cool, humid, sleet, overcast. All of these are great ways to expand their vocabulary, and that goes for any age because you can always keep building on this. And then you can write the temperature and draw a little picture of what it is like outside. So it engages all those different creative faculties, and when you're done, it'll start to look a little more like this, with just some filled out information. And when you're done at the end of the week, you can look back and see how did it change from Monday to Friday, or if you wanted to be very thorough, you could do full 7 days. Again, it's always up to you. You can do as many of these days in a row as you want. And when you're done, you'll notice maybe it went from September 14th, 25 degrees Celsius, to 28 the next day, to 27 the next day. Maybe it changed depending on the time of the day. All of these things are things that you can record and look back on to create that inquiry that you always want to go over with your child. Another way that's great for tracking the weather is to just have some simple at-home things that you can use to measure. So one of them is this thermometer. It's just a dollar store thermometer, very accessible. You can put it up on the outside of your door, and when you look outside, it'll tell you what the degree is. So supposedly right now it is 32 degrees Celsius. I have to wonder if this thermometer is accurate. Another thing you can do is you can make a windsock. So I don't know exactly how much windsocks are at the hardware store, but this one was free because you just take a newspaper bag and you take some old wire and you almost make like a little O-frame for it, and your child can have a fun time seeing which direction it goes in to catch the wind. It's almost like flying a kite, and it's fun because they get to create it for themselves. And the last one is you can just take a liquid measuring cup out of your kitchen cabinet, and you can use it to measure the rain. So if you're having a rainy week or even just a rainy day, you can see how many millimeters, or milliliters rather, falls of rain, and you can kind of inference, okay, we only got a couple, it dried up really quick, or maybe we got 200 milliliters of rain and it's swamped, everything is underwater in our backyard. So all of these different things are things you can do just to learn about the weather and sort of really enjoy that innate sense of curiosity that children have when they get to take the role of little scientists. So hopefully they have their weather journal, and of course there will be the template. You can always make your own if you prefer a little bit different formatting. But after you record these for a couple days or even a couple weeks, you'll start to notice that things change. The temperature will drop, they might get a little more rainy or windy depending on how the weather changes. But it's fun for your children to learn about these things and then start to make predictions. So maybe your child can look at the window, say, the thermometer says it's 22 degrees today. My windsock says that it's going to be pretty windy out. You can ask your child, what should they wear today? Letting your child determine what they should wear for themselves based on what you've been learning together is a good way for them to take a little bit of independence and ownership over their own daily routine, which is very critical for young children to have that feeling that they're important as well. If your child is a little bit older, because again, these videos are from age 0 to 6, maybe it's too simple for them to look outside and go, it's windy, it's rainy. You can always make it a little bit more interesting for older children or even just children who are very passionate about the weather to maybe do something like clouds. Again, there are lots of books about this one, but there are all these different types of clouds. So you can have your child look up and say, what type of clouds do you see today? What does that mean? And again, you're always asking those why and what and how questions to really get them thinking and reflecting upon their daily experiences. So again, try the journal, see what it is, see how you can track it to figure out these different weather patterns, and then you can always start storming different activities to do with your children based on the weather. And it's a great way to also get your children interacting and learning about both science and nature and language and even math, depending on which activities you incorporate. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you give some of these ideas a try and that it gave you a little bit of food for thought when it comes thinking about getting outside and enjoying all the different types of weather. Again, please check out our links below and please share any ideas or experiences you had doing this video activities. And thank you again for watching, and thank you for connecting with us.